Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good day. It's Tuesday today, right? It's Tuesday. Yep, Tuesday. It's a good day today. It's a good day. Hey, Blurry, how's it going? Let's see. I left everything running from last night. Oh yeah, that's right. I was working on the parchment. That's what I was doing. I think I pretty much have everything that I want in for the alpha release. I still have to work on spells over time. I have to work on like the tier 2 spells, like, you know, what that's gonna add, but I think everything is I think everything's shaping up to be pretty awesome. Let's make our character again here. I'm just gonna pick whatever. So we got the Rust Mage. It's fully in as a class, and it's an additive class. We will confirm. Things look a little different now with the creative inventory. So they're going to be blocks, so you can take your Arcanite that you get, your Arcanus, and you'll be able to make a block out of it. From there, you'll be able to make brick out of it as well, with a randomized, slightly randomized pattern, so it feels, you know, unique. I don't think that looks too bad. But yeah, you know, we have that. We have blocks. You'll be able to make these crystals as well. I have a basic form of like mana glass that you can also make, so you'll be able to make things. You know, like make your mage towers out of like the magical blocks. 1 hour and 10 minutes till it's Wednesday for me. Oh wow, Blurry, you're really really out there. Holy schmoly. It's 3:42 here right now, so so you're technically you're in the future right now, talking to us, those of us doomed to live into the past, right? That's pretty cool though. It's neat, you know, like streaming allows me to kind of get to know people that normally, you know, I wouldn't be able to talk with. You don't live right up the road from me. By the way, is it possible to load in a different world while already in one? No. I don't think it's possible. And I think it's just because the world, the way the save files are, that's why we don't have dimensions. You don't really share worlds like that. What you'd probably have to do is go down to the foundation of how the game works, how it saves, how it loads the world. You know, how it captures that mesh grid and everything, and then you would have to build a system. You know, you'd probably have to do some networking stuff too, because if you're talking about going into another world, you're talking about moving credentials from one API interface on like a server to another. Yeah. Maybe in the future, like if enough people chime about it. Like I mean, you know, dimensions, I would like to see dimensions first. Trust me, I would make a Rust world mod. I think that would be so cool to use the rifts as like portals. But yeah, I guess moving on to here, right? You're gonna have all the blocks. I don't have recipes for the elemental, like Arcanus blocks and everything. Those will be creative mode only for now. But you'll be able to get all of the regular Arcanus and all the Mana Stone blocks. I was thinking of making another kind of Mana Stone and have it be like the glass pane. All of the spell books and everything, we got all the colors, all of that stuff is working. All of the armor is working, and I finalized the armor. So let me pull out, I'll do like a yellow chest piece. We will go with a black hat. And I don't know, just for the sake of, yeah, we'll do blue trousers. So I'm going to learn all the spells so I could even use this. Boop. so if you notice, the black hat is a lot better now. There are no glitches on the bottom of it. There we go. The chest piece is a little different. We have more... I put the gemstones in. So you could mix and match any of the colors that you want. There we go. But basically, I'll put all these on. So this is going to be pretty much what the basic armor looks like. Green specifies the color of your gemstones, the tier of the gear. But you'll notice, right, it's kind of plain. You don't really have gears or anything on there. You know, the chest piece, like I put some rivets and stuff in it, you know, put the metal in. I actually had, you know what? I'm just going to, yeah, that's the tier 1. Well, technically, I guess it's tier 2 because I don't have the, these aren't available if you're tier 1. This is going to be a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 thing. I was thinking about maybe making some kind of basic armor that anyone could put on. It wouldn't look this snazzy, but it would be something. The tier 3 looks pretty good. You know what? For now, I'm just gonna admin myself all the stuff, just so I could kind of show it off. So body, head, and legs. So what was your mod idea? I'm kind of curious now. And don't let my, like, you know, there's no way to do it. There's no way that I know to do it. I just know from what I've heard, you know, the fact that we don't have dimensions. You know, because you think, like, well, how hard is it to spawn another world? Well, it's how the world is saved. That's what the block is. So, you know, we can make mods, but we can't necessarily rewrite the game engine. You know what I mean? Like, how it saves everything and go against that. So, I'll do something like, I'll do, I don't know what color. You want, green. We'll do green. And it looks like I messed some stuff up. Whoops. Let's save that. I messed up. This is what I had to delete. I did the wrong thing. So I got rid of all the items. There we go. Let's reload again. Basically something like Bungie, but use the rifts as travel to other servers. And to have other servers, other server the Rust world. Yeah. I mean, that's what I would think for, like, a Rust world mod. Bungie, though, like, you know, again, right, how many people work on that? I don't think we have the know-how to do that. Like, we would... Before I think anyone could attempt something like that, we probably should be able to have dimensions natively in the game. Because from then, right, I mean, ideally, you would have to, like, dedicate a port, right? Be able to, you know, connect to something via maybe SSH for your connection protocol. That way it's secure. You would have to have, like, a main central kind of database, right? That kind of controls all the worlds, and then move the character profiles to that. That way your stuff in your world can travel to the other server for, like, a multiplayer. But then again, you could do something hacky where, as long as you have dimensions, you can just make the Rust world mod, right? And then just have different worlds inside the same server. That would be easier to do, but you would still need dimensions. So, you know, it still would be the you know, the same problem. So this right here would be the max. So you got your temporal gears. This is the green version. You know, the shoulders and everything. The gears on the helmet, like on the hat, the little dongle there. Kind of fitting that I have a beard. And the intermediate one, it's just Rusty Gears. I'll show it, but it's just kind of the Rusty Gear version. I named that the Spellweavers stuff. So I need a Spellweaver's chess piece. Yeah, we'll do red. And again, you can mix match your colors, doesn't matter. So again, right, this is the middle of the road. You know, you don't have like the tubes, but you have a couple of the Rusty Gears on there. I picked the wrong chess piece. It should be... There, I'll pick the pink chess piece. There we go. So, right, like, you got the gears on the shoulders, you know, like, it looks a little better. I now have, like, the cloth underneath, so there's, like, a, you know, you can see the overcoat is different from the pants. So, and just as I thought, the hair will glitch through. Nothing I could do, you know. Or there may be something I could do. Let me put it this way. I'm not going to expend the extra effort to, like, hide your hair that you selected every time you put on one of my hats. Not doing that. My big plus is I have a server box, yet it's not enough time. Not sure what you mean by that. Also, I'll be going to coding school next month. I'm tired of working in logistics center. Oh, that's cool. What programming language are you going to be learning? Boop. Redo my mana. So yeah, so all the armor's in. The spells, like the stabs and everything, we can upgrade. Actually, that's what I got to work on. I have to. The last thing, in order for everything to work, is I need to change how I do the upgrades. Even the runic parchment paper, I have everything ready for like the next update. You know, like the tier 2 spells. But we have to fix that. But everything else is done, which is pretty awesome. So, what we are going to do is, well, we're going to work on that. I need to pull up a couple files. We will focus on upgrading the spellbook first because it's not as busy. Let's see, did small research, still have time to decide, but I think I'll focus on Java and or C#. Nice. A majority of jobs here in Latvia ask for Java, C3, and CSS. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Java's unique. It's funny because like the difference between Java and C#, you know, one's obviously object-oriented. That's what Java is. Which, if you notice, when I do my coding, I do a lot of like this dot. That's just because of my Java days, because I'm used to something being object oriented. But no, I think both are going to be solid. Java is going to be helpful if you want to do Minecraft modding too. But C#, I like C# a lot more. Mainly because for Java, null point exceptions are freaking ridiculous. Like, a null point exception will sink your battleship. With C#, it takes a little bit more. Like, it could deal with some nulls that should not be nulls. But yeah, null point exceptions always got me with Java. It'd be like the stupidest minor thing. But no, you should definitely have fun. Especially if it's like a passion project too, right? You could go to school for it, and then you can like apply what you learn to, you know, make the mod that you want. You know, get that creatures mod up and running. All right, we're gonna look at a spell book here. So when we're doing the item upgrade, so let's look at start. Basically, I'm looking to see. I do a check to see if the item is a sigil, if the slot is tier 1, the item slot is tier 1. You know what I need to do? I need to, I'm getting the object here, left hand. I may have to change how I'm doing this, because I have it as an object right now. I'm gonna try this. I think this is going to work. I can say, okay, if this is one of the sigils, right, and if the left hand slot dot empty, right? So if let's do a check to see if it's not empty, and this let's look at the item stack dot collectible dot code dot contains path dot contains, and we are going to say, let's look at our items. Let's look at our items here. What am I looking at? Item types, it's going to be the mystical sigil. So let's find, let's make sure it says item upgrade. Dash tier 1. Right, so if it is tier 1, item upgrade tier 1. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be what we want. Yep, I'll be able to do custom stuff for my projects as well, but mostly because here at the moment I'm earning €900 a month. And I'm living together with girlfriend while she earns a little bit. It's still small, yeah. We barely go from month to month, so we both decided to go for coding school. She starts this month, I start next. It's like a rapid speed course, but also finds job for you. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely happy hearing about when other people are, you know, kind of bettering themselves, right, pursuing something more. It's really easy to get caught in the rut, you know, where it's like, well, you know, I'm making an existence, you know, it's tiring, busting your butt, you know. I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy for you and your girlfriend. You'll have to let me know how your classes go, and you know what kind of job you get. You know, like a lot of programming. The spoiler alert with programming is, you know, if you got to think of things just a little more logically, you know, like, for instance, math isn't like math in school. The formulas are going to be the same, but you can make that number any kind of magic number. So it's less about the process of, you know, finding whatever the radius or anything is, and more making sure that, you know, your variables, or, you know, you're capturing everything that the computer's doing for you, you know. But I honestly, I don't think, like, I think anyone that really wants to learn how to do the programming, you know, anyone could do it. Will do. You are part inspiration for this, by the way. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, kick some butt. Learn some cool things. And again, right, like a lot of this stuff too, you know, as long as you know the basics, right, you know, it's important to know what a variable is versus a method, what you can do with methods. A lot of the coding too is, and I'm guilty of this, it's going to be about optimizing your code, so you have less bloat. So, you know, if you can make a method generic, you know, like, so something, for instance, let me go down here, and I could give you an example. Something like this. This method is very generic, because I'm taking in a couple variables, and then I'm just piping those variables in to send a message to the player. When you start making methods, this would start very static. Like, I wouldn't have, like, you know, the string message in. I would have just put in, you know, something like in here and say, you know, send message, you know, whatever it is, right? You know, tell player timer expired, whatever it is, and that would pull up the localized key. But by making the method generic, I can call this in multiple places, you know, put in the couple things that it's requiring, and bam, right? My method's gonna run multiple, you know, different. I could use it in many different ways. So you'll get on that track. You and your girlfriend are gonna get on the track to be able to look at something like that, and it's always about optimization, right? Like having big walls of code, it's one thing. Sometimes it's easier to do it that way, but you know, you'll have fun. I think you'll definitely have fun. If you do go with Java, I'd be interested to see what they tell you. You know, the different things, like when to use like an interface versus like an abstract method versus, you know, like pros and cons for each thing. I'd be curious about stuff like that. All right, what was I working on here? Here we go. We were piping this stuff in. So let's go back into the game and let's get a spell book. You know, we'll deal with the red spell book because red is my favorite color. I gotta fix these particles. I just made them generic white. I want it to look more impressive, right? So I got my red lesser spell book. There we go. So I want to be able to upgrade this. Now I can upgrade it. Requires a sigil of the forged in the offhand. So this is the old system. It just required this item being in the offhand, the lesser sigil of the forged, and it would allow me to do the update. See, like I could do it, but I could do it with any sigil of the forged. What I want to do is make sure that it's going to only take in the item upgrade -tier version of it. So let's save this, fireball it in. I guess I have to think about a couple other things too. Let's try this, right? I should be able to not do it, but see, it's interesting. I think it's working. See, it's not. It's sending me the message here. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna go head first into this. Take no prisoners. We're gonna paste this in here. I'm gonna look for the tier 2 version. Paste this in here. We'll look for the tier 3. We're gonna go a little further down. And we are going to... I can leave this generic. I could put those same bits in, but we're gonna paste this in, change that to a 2, paste, make this a 3. All right. So I think this may have just fixed everything. We're gonna test it. All right, so I could do this. I got the message for the upgrade. If I put this in my offhand, it should not work because this is a lesser. I'm using a greater sigil of the forged. Yep, I can't do it anymore. There we go. So it was as easy as that. All right. I'm gonna go through the rest of my code, make sure that there's no other times, and it's a good thing I did. I should put the same checks into here. Whoops, not 12, 2. Tier 3, because this part's really important because this actually runs the code. Now what I have to do is make sure the tooltip is going to work. Which I can do right here. So let's find this key, because it's no longer just the sigil of the forged. Now it's going to be a specific item that we're looking for. We both actually have super basic knowledge in coding. For her, it was in high school and basic programming lessons, and for me, in professional high school and computer science. By making a super simple app that sends a loop video to screen record the teacher, that hooked up to whole PC so we can see what everyone's doing. Yeah, so then you should be familiar, right? As long as you have the building blocks, you know, everything else is going to be easy. You know, a lot of the stuff, like you'll have to learn, you know, the difference between like declaring, you know, private versus protected versus, you know, public versus, I think there's a fourth one, read only, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, but that kind of stuff comes with the schooling, you know. But yeah, I'm really excited for you. I'm really excited for you both. All right, so we have to turn this into like lesser sigil of awakening, lesser, you know, or greater sigil of forging. So I have to statically put that stuff in. Let's find the key. Let's find the key. There it is. So this part right here, requiring a sigil of the forged, we're gonna be very, this is gonna be very easy. I'm gonna cut that out. I'm going to pipe in another variable, and we're gonna change it directly in our code here. So I will still get the mana cost. I probably could go through everything and do like, do an item lookup. I don't think I need to do that. This is going to be a lesser sigil of the forged. This one's going to be a greater sigil of the forged. This one's going to be a... Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do celestial. I'm actually gonna... I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna shift everything up. It doesn't make sense to me that to get this spellbook, you would have to use a lesser sigil of forging. You know, to get a greater spellbook, you should use the greater upgrade. So I'm gonna have to change some things here, but... And this will be superior. Oh, and it's not of the forged anymore, it's actually forging. The sigil of forging. I changed that last night too. Or maybe it was last night, I don't know, but I did change it. Alright, so if we save all of this, fireball it in, let's go to edit. It's gonna be unhappy with this, I believe. Yep, with this. Oh, it's because I got rid of that. There we go. I'm excited to get this taken care of. To get this all done. Ooh, there we go. Kind of get it out into people's hands. I gotta write up the guidebook still. I don't want to do that. I hate making guidebooks. They're horrible. I hate it. I hate it. But I have to, but I hate it so much. It's the guidebooks are the worst part. The worst part. I sent you some armor or cloth ideas for low tier or basic starter clothes in Discord if interested. Both are from Divinity 2, Ego Draconics, the 2009 game. VS guidebook is quite nice. Well, thanks. Yeah, I tried to, I tried to be fancy with the... Well, this isn't... Oh, this isn't the guidebook. Are you talking about my spellbook here? Thing I'm throwing? I wanted it to feel magical. Alright, so if we hover over this, right, the lesser spellbook requires greater sigil of forging, and it is called the greater sigil of forging. I don't think we need the lesser sigil of forging. Yeah, sorry, spellbook. Thanks, I appreciate it. I ended up redoing the wands as well. But yeah, thanks. I wanted it to like look impressive. Exit. I want a version of the spellbook with high damage when used as a melee weapon. I'll call it a brick. I'll get a brick on a rope. How about that for a weapon, Hexadin? What you'll do is you'll take those mana stones and you'll throw them away, and then you'll just take a big block out of the earth and then I'll attach a rope to it, and it's going to be called Brick on a Rope. You can use a Sharpie to write your spells that you've memorized on the brick side. How's that? I may actually make that item now. Brick with rope. Blunt damage. Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to change these. I'm just gonna do a search so I can mark them all. So in order to become like a tier 2 from a tier 1, so that's gonna be tier 2, that would be tier 3, this would be tier 4. So same thing down here, this would be tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. And then down here, this would be tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. Yeah, I kind of like that progression a little bit more. So that means I'm gonna have to change the sigil. How do I want to do this? I'm gonna do a skip variant, because I don't know if I'm ever gonna really utilize like the tier 1 version of these. But we'll do skip variants. I'm gonna do a wild card dash tier 1. I could just delete it out of the states, but I won't. But this should hopefully get rid of the tier 1 for both items. No, call it a Holy Tome or Book of Sins. Yeah, the Book of Sins is quite heavy with this one. The Book of Sins. Barbarians can learn magic too. You mean the blackguards? Yes, they can learn basic magic too. They can make paper speak. Not well, but they can do it. It'd be funny to create an item that keeps count of how many things you've killed with it. What, mass immune, right? Isn't that the fantasy sword that gets stronger with like each life you take? Create a dagger or something that could do that as well. Like it keeps racking up the kills and it just gets more. Maybe that's how you increase the durability on it. you can keep using the weapon. Oh, there's one in primitive survival. Oh, okay. Well, meh. I'm actually quite surprised nobody has modded in Necronomicon. That's a mod. Modded in, so it's an existing mod, or made a mod with an item called the Necronomicon in it. I think that's a primitive survival. They use the Necronomicon. And Spear and Fang, I think, uses it. Okay, so I am hiding the lesser because, you know, there's no point to have the lesser upgrade, which means that I do have to change the recipe. Where are my recipes? Here they are. I'm gonna have to change the Sigil of the Awakened and the Sigil of the Forged. Necromancy spellbook loses durability when used. Gains durability when used to kill an enemy. I love it. Yeah, there's Necronomicon and PS. I completely forgot. Yeah. I mean, I could still use, like, you know, it's not like someone uses it in their mod that I can't, you know, have the term. And let me tell you, if I've been thinking about the future of the mod. I think tier 1 is going to be, again, right, basic spell casting, kind of getting you used to it. Tier 2 is going to be the magic circle. And I'm going to see how complex I make that, because I may actually make the spellbinding matrix just be like a magic circle. So I may combine those two spells. And then tier 3, I was thinking about making a tier where you could have a combat pet, but it would be like a separate thing. So I was thinking 3 different schools of combat pets. One would be like an elemental that you can like kind of choose and modify to fight for you. A beast, so you can actually, it's going to be like beast mastery, so you could do like animals and have that as your companion, your pet, or you could do like necromancy. So you can have like your, you know, like, but the gameplays would be a little different, right? Like they would require a different fuel source depending, like maybe the elemental would need like magic essence, you know, the beasts would need like meats, the undead would need probably bones, or, you know, like something like that for like a consumable. And they would all have their own like little mini games with it, but, you know, I could still be like a fire guy, but then I can have, you know, like maybe that could be the familiar system. You know, your familiar is like something that you can just kind of have with you. And then I can make the little non-combat pets be something else. Now, I've been looking at how other people are doing it, right? And they're like, hey, you know, I set up a Patreon. Like, maybe I could have it to where if people do things with a Patreon, then you can just have the little non-combat pet. Like, I could just link it to your character. I was thinking about it. I've actually had quite a few people message me like, you know, do you have a Patreon? I'm like, I do and I don't. I may do it. Or living creature. I don't think seraphs can breed, so we're good, or have gender for that matter. I missed something here. I guess you could have a spell to extract blood from a corpse. Yeah, I guess you could, you know, or a spell to pull out some kind of resource. But I was thinking about it, like I do want to make like a pet resource. I think it'd be cool. Maybe while it's out, it could slowly deplete your mana. So, but it wouldn't be like extreme. But you know, like it would require a lot of systems to be built. It's something that is absolutely doable, though. Maybe like a different, you know, there's like a different altar depending on what path you choose for a pet. I don't know. Have a list of VIPs hard-coded in that mod. Yeah. A list of the VIPs. Well, I have to go now or I'll be useless at work tomorrow. I wish an amazing stream and hope to catch you on the next one. Hey, have a good night, Blurry. Thanks for stopping by. Get some sleep. Definitely get some sleep. Who knows? Maybe, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start posting on the Vintage Story Discord once we get this part done. I'm going to have to take some screenshots, you know, do some PR stuff. I'm going to have to update the website. I have the name reserved in the mod database site. I'm just going to have to put the screenshots in and then kind of, you know, explain things. And then I will have to... well, I'm going to have to... create the guidebook. Ugh, God, I don't want to do it, but I have to. It's not going to be that hard to do it. Like I can type, like I understand the English language. It's just I don't know. It's so not fun for me. I would rather be looking at the code than that. But that's just me. All right, so since we have the spellbook working, and we're gonna verify it's working, I'm going to upgrade this. Let's pull out this tier and this tier. Let me make sure the other tiers do not work. Yep, that is not working. I should give an error, I'm thinking, to let the player know that they are not able to apply that sigil. Or you know what, should I make it to where you could use a greater essence? So why should I stop someone from using a superior forging to just upgrade the spellbook to a greater? I could still increment it by 1. I mean, if you do that, it's going to be a huge waste of resources, but I shouldn't necessarily bottleneck people. Or am I adding too much? Like, do you really need another message? You know, if you hover over the book, it says, you know, how to upgrade, what the mana cost is going to be, requires the greater sigil of forging, right? Like it's kind of basic, isn't it? Right, that tells me everything. I can see greater sigil of forging, You know, so obviously a Celestial Sigil of Forging is not going to work. You don't need a message saying, hey, you got the wrong one. Just, you know, put the greater in. So that's going to take 20 mana. Wait a minute. All right, so I'm at 190. So I should be at 170. Boop. Yep, 170. We now have the greater red spellbook. Again, I'm going to try the better version. Can't do it. Let's get the old version. Nope, can't upgrade, so just right. We need this one. Upgrade is started. Stay still to complete this item. There we go. I got the superior spellbook. Again, this part of the play testing, I got to make sure that you can't cheat the system. So that looks good. The only other thing would be the Celestial, and that one is going to work. Boop. Hey, 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 there we go. So I got my tier 4 spellbook. Ba-da-da-dum. It's ironic that this random character I made has a beard. Not by choice. It's just coincidental. Yeah, and I can see all my tier 4 spells. Awesome. So that upgrade path completely works. I'm going to move this over here because I only have so much space. We are going to do the more complex staff next. So ideally, I will just paste this in. Paste, and then that should be it. So this should be tier 4. This should be tier 3, and that should be tier 2. We're gonna have to go further down. I'm gonna have to paste this in. Paste and paste. So again, this is going to be tier 4, tier 3, and then tier 2. And we're gonna have to come further down, because now we have to put those checks in here. And this is going to be 4, 3, and 2. We're gonna have to come back down into this section. I could just do a copy and paste. We're gonna bump this out. I'm gonna make it full screen. Ah, that's better. So I'm gonna pop in the greater Sigil of Forging. We're gonna pop in the superior Sigil of Forging because it's taken from the same key. And we're going to pop in the Celestial Sigil of Forging. That should be everything for the staff. If we save, fireball it in. I'm gonna have to reload, so we reload the localized keys. Oh, you know what? I didn't have to do that because I did that already. So now our staff is going to be upgradable with the specific tier 1, 2, 3, and 4 items. And the mage equipment, the item upgrades, things like that are only going to be tied to the Rust Mage. They're the only ones that can make those things. Mainly because they're useless to anyone else. Like, if you're not a Rust Mage, you can't go beyond tier 1 magic anyways. Sigil of the Forged. Alright, so it looks like things are okay. Let's pull out a staff. What staff do we want to transmute? You know what? Let's do Acacia. I'll make an Acacia staff. Boop. So we got our tier 1 staff here. Nice bright gem wedged in there. I could cast spells with it. Definitely awesome. See Magic Circle, Spellbinding Matrix, Familiar. Like, I'm going to be working on these in the other updates to come. But for now, Transmutation's working pretty well. Some work still needs to be done on it, but it's good enough for like an alpha release. Boop. That's something that's interesting. If it fails like it just did, I need to stop the casting. So we are going to look at this staff. We got to find the 2 animations here. Where do I have them? Here we go. This right here. So it's not something that has been canceled. This is something that has been stopped. So I am running the stop animations there. I think I got to do it back here. Oh, you know what? Actually, I got to do it in transmutation, the spell itself. This only happens when you look at the air. See, you're like animation locked, but if I look down, it should complete. There we go. But if I do it in the air, because technically there's nothing that I'm targeting. Interesting. I guess it's working now. Alright, it's a bug that someone's gonna have to give me more information on. You know how you fix that? Just cast another spell or do something else that triggers an animation. Okay, so let's upgrade the staff. Let's pull out a bunch of these sigils here. Kind of triple up on some of them here. I'm going to replenish my mana. Okay, so with the lesser staff, it wants the greater sigil of forging. If I try superior, it's not even letting me. Good. If I try the or that was the celestial. If I try the superior, it's not going to let me. But if I have this in my hand, there we go. I can start the upgrade. Now this should take. How much mana did that take? Oh, 20. Okay, so it takes 20. We got our new staff. Boop. Yeah, right there. Nice and pretty. The new staff. Now, to upgrade this, I'm already tier 4, so I could just keep going. This would be restricted depending on the tier that you are. So this is going to be 30 mana. So again, can I use the old one? Nope, I can't. What about the superior one? Yes, let's try the celestial. That won't work. So it's gonna have to be the superior, which is what it's looking for. Yep, and I can do that. We'll get the next staff. So that's the next staff. So I could cast my spells there, and we're starting to get stat bonuses with them. So for the final step, if I hover over it, wants the celestial. It's only 40 mana. I gotta change that. We're gonna have to recalibrate the levels. The greater sigil of forging. So that doesn't work. These superior, yep, that doesn't work. Whoops, and I accidentally cast the spell. But this, there we go, it works. So the final staff doesn't really have anything yet. It's actually the old model of my staff. You know, I just kind of connected the cubes. My vision is if you become a tier 4 mage, you will be able to pick a staff that's attuned to an element. So the fire staff is going to look drastically different. You know, the ice staff, the specific staff. But that system's not in, but I just wanted to put some kind of like staff in there for people who want to play it now. Because there are tier 4 spells. It's just those subsystems aren't in yet. So that is that. If I... Yep, I can't upgrade it any further. It's maxed out. Sweet. So the staff is fully working. Nice, we can get rid of that. Checkity check check. I'm gonna move this over to here. I'm gonna copy that. Next thing we have to do, this is where it may get a little confusing. Maybe. No, you know what? I don't think it is. I don't know, we'll see. It's gonna be the clothing. Alright, so I believe it's going to be the same. So I'm looking for the sigil. I'm going to look for the item upgrade sigil. And it's gonna have to be a tier 2 to get tier 2. This is gonna have to be tier 3. And then this one's going to have to be tier 4. And we're going to scroll further down, so this is going to have to be tier 2. This is going to be tier 3. This is going to be tier 4. And then the final checks, that would be tier 2. That would be tier 3. This would be tier 4. And we got to come even further down. I'm going to pop this out so I have more room. Make it full screen. Alright, so... run item info for arm. I got to start here. I need this. Okay, so copy, paste. Right, because for this item, this bracelet, you need the greater sigil of forging. You will need the superior sigil of forging. And then for the last one, you will need the celestial to improve your stuff. There we go. So if it contains tier 1 and you qualify, then I'm going to tell you how to do it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little different for like the head here. So the headpiece, there is no tier 1 path technically. You know what? I think it's not going to be that bad. It would be similar. Oh, I think I helped myself out. Because I wasn't sure if I'm going to give people like apprentice robes. I've coded them in, I just don't have the model for them. That way, if someone doesn't want to be a Rust Mage, they could still have like magic equipment. It's just not going to do much for them, that's all. Like, I won't add to the maximum mana. I may make some of the spells cast a little faster. Maybe the mana cost will be reduced by a little bit, but it's going to be a small amount. Maybe I should do that. What do people think? Think it's a good idea? You know, I could probably do that in this stream. If people think it's a good idea, I'll do it right after this. We'll get apprentice clothes that anyone could wear. I don't need to be a mage, as you know, I'm a god, right? Coming down from thy throne to hang with us lowly life forms. Ascending from thy throne. I saith to you, give me the power of the absolute. I shall rain judgment upon thee. Oh, Bernardo. And where's Moobot throughout all of this? So many zingers, and Moobot could have, like, come right in. Classic. Missed opportunities, Moobot. Missed opportunities. Could have made a lot of new friends, but nope. Never! Alright, paste that in. Copy, paste that in. There we go. So that should have propagated to, well, to everything. I don't have to put anything in here. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. I think that's all I need to do. Wow, I thought this was gonna take more time. I'm just gonna reload everything. kind of start fresh. I'm gonna delete all my items, and then we'll do the same thing. I'm gonna get a bunch of the forged up items, and we will... Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to do a check to make sure the awakened sigils do not work for item upgrades. An awakened sigil is just gonna be how you increase your mana tier. So let's scroll down. Let me get that. I'm gonna pull out... No, I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm not gonna do that yet. I am gonna try the awakened items. Right, so I have this staff. If I get an awakened greater sigil... Yep, it does not work. Whew, good. Alright, I'll get rid of that. Let's try the helmet here. Let's do the white. And I picked out the wrong one. There we go. I want the inner tat. So we're going to bind it to us. Boop. It's going to want 120 mana, which is good. That's fine. It will require the greater... No, because it's already on the greater, so yeah, it's not going to take that. This is going to require the better one. It's not going to take that. It's going to take this, the superior. Oh, insufficient mana. Because it costs 120 mana, I only have 40. We're going to cheat it. Boop. So good. I know that works. Moozy's a little sleepy today. Yeah, right? Moobot. And boop. Got my new magic hat. We could put it on. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to get rid of that. Let me pop it back off. Put my hat in my hand. I bow to thee. A sign of respect. Alright, so to upgrade, I'm going to double check. That doesn't work. Excellent. This should not work. Good. This should work. Insufficient mana. How much mana does it cost? Hot diggity daffodil, 160 mana. Cheat. There we go. Moozy. There we go. So that should work. Yeah, that should work. That should work quite well. Put the hat back on. It's the maxed upgrade one. Sweet. Since it works there, that code propagates to everything else here, so I don't even have to check the other things. I'm just guaranteed that it's going to work. One of the benefits of coding what I did, how I did it. So we're thinking, so I didn't see anyone in there want entry-level equipment. Do you think it's a good idea to allow the tier 1 people, the unblessed, some kind of basic legging, headpiece, and chest piece? Make it like the apprentice stuff. I can get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Start closing out some of the stuff I'm not using. I can get rid of that window. Get rid of all of that. Oh, we are gonna have to go into the recipes here. I guess instead of a tier 1, I can make it like a mana core. I could make a new item. I could call it a mana core. Maybe the mana core could be used to... No. It needs to be a resource sink, but it doesn't need to be, like, unbearable. I don't know. Trying to think how I want to do this. Because the problem is, there is no tier 1, you know, no lesser sigil. But the sigils kind of build off themselves. To do this, you need the previous tier. To do that, you need the previous tier. You know what? I think I know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this tier 2. I'm going to turn this into greater. And I'm going to delete this. So it's going to start as a tier 2. You'll have to have the enlightenment skill to make this trait. But you will go right into tier 2, and then you'll be able to use the tier 2 to make your tier 3, and so on. I think that's how I'll do it. Which means I have to do it the same way for the Sigil of the Awakened. So for this, this could be tier 2. This would be... Ooh, this would have to be lesser. I'm thinking, because this is what I'm thinking. So, tier 1 things. I don't know. I don't know how I should do the enhance part. Let's undo what I did here. Let's just undo these. You know what? I'm not going to deal with that right now. We're going to reload, and then I should be able to just check the handbook. I got to make sure that the forged items can go, and then I'm going to have to change some of the code anyways to look for that specific upgrade item while you meditate to do your level up. And then maybe I'll make the apprentice armor. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so let's pull this up. I should be able to type in sigil. We'll do the sigil of forging. So it's going to take all of this to make your sigil of forging. This will make your the superior sigil of forging. And then, yep, I like that. That's going to be pretty good. So let's back out. Now let's double check these, right? So you'll be able to make the better matrix here. Yeah. So that will be good. The superior sigil of awakening, and then the greater sigil of awakening. So all of that is correct. You know what? I think with this, I should have... Alright, I think I know what I'm going to do. Where's my, did I close it out? Colors, let's get rid of that. What is this, stone brick? Yeah, let's get rid of that. So I have these two things here. We'll focus on the awakened. Let's pull up the mystical sigil. So I'm going to add on to this, and I'm just gonna say item upgrade. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to paste this in. So I'm going to remove the item upgrade, the tier 1 for the item upgrade, and I'm going to remove the tier 4 for the magic tier upgrade. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. We're gonna save it, fireball it in. Because ideally, you'll be at the end of the road when you are upgrading yourself. So you should be using the mana stones that you discovered in that tier for the final product. But to upgrade your equipment, you would have to use the next tier's stones. think that'll be good, right? So the sigil, lesser sigil of awakening. I think this is going to be what we want to do. Maybe. I may have messed up some of the recipes now that I'm thinking about it. So let's look at the sigil here. So the awakening sigil, yeah, see, I messed up the awakening sigil. The greater, that works. So I'm gonna have to modify this recipe. This recipe would work. That recipe would work. Bug it. I'm not even gonna skip any of the variants, I don't think. Because I'm thinking about it. I know myself, I'm eventually going to create an item or create a new system or expand like the tier 1 thing. And I'll be like, damn it, I gotta bring back the sigil of the lesser sigil for whatever the crazy thing is I want to do. I can just have it be a slightly dead item. You'll use it to go to something else, instead of pruning it out and having to like rework everything. So let's go back. There we go. So the sigil of the awakening, you're gonna need the lesser sigil of forging, which means I have to put in. I gotta undo what I did here. Fireball it in, reload. So I'll have the sigils. Yeah, I think this will work out nicely. And I think it'll kind of make sense too. Alright, so the sigil of forging, you'll be able to make the basic one here. You'll be able to use that basic one to make the better one. You'll be able to use that previous one to make this, or that previous one to make this one. Then for the final celestial, you could do that. And then for the awakening, you would use like-minded awakening and just add on to it. So the lesser sigil of awakening is going to increase your mage to tier 2. Kind of like an end of the journey item. And then this one would use, you know, this sigil of forging, because you're like forging yourself into a better mage, right? If I want to try and get cheeky with it. This one, I may actually keep this in the game, because technically you won't have a use for the celestial sigil of awakening. But it's a cool looking item. It'd be cool to put that on display. So I think that's what we're gonna do. All right, so let me remove all of this stuff. Boop, 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 because it's all been tested. And let's grab a couple of these. And there we go. I'm going to lower my mana. I'm going to get rid of that. Actually, I don't need those 2 sigils. So I need these 3 tools. Let me go back to tier 1. Let me remove all of this really good gear. Right? So tier 1. 10 health, or 10 mana. If I sit and meditate, I should get nothing. It's not going to tell me I'm eligible for an upgrade or anything. Oh, I'm not going to be able to meditate because I need a free hand. Either you can have a spellbook in your hand, a staff in your hand, or have nothing in your hand. If you have something in your hand, you won't go into meditation. I do that just in case you don't want to lose your temporal stability role-playing sitting down. I'm not going to screw people over. Yeah, so I'm just meditating right now. If I put this in my offhand, nothing's going to change. It's not doing the countdown or anything. Now let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should put me at 45 maximum mana. So if I have max mana and I sit down to meditate, it should prompt me that I'm eligible for an update and to hold, you know, the item in my hand to continue. Oh, I need my bracelet. You need the mana bracelet too. Where is it? I have too many items. It's official. Alright, so let's attune this bracelet to myself. Boop. There we go. Pop it on. Sit down. Get all my mana back. Bracelet came out pretty cool, I think. I like it. B is for bracelet. There we go. You are eligible to increase your magic tier. Okay. So, I need to change that. Because we need to do the same thing we did. I have to pipe in the specific item that I'm going to be looking for. So magical knowledge, I'm going to have to go into that. We're going to go back into spellbook, but I'm going to move spellbook off to the side. We're going to hop into here. So what I said, eligible. You are eligible to increase your magic tier. Hold a... I'm going to pipe in something else here. Oh, I got to make that 0 because that's the first thing I'm putting in. And you're offhand to start the process. Now I'm going to look for this key specifically in here. There we go. So I'm just running the packet. That's all I'm doing. What we need to do is do if, and then I can say this, or I could say this dot magic tier is equal to 1. Let's change to this. There we go. So it's going to be that, and let's pull up this and pipe that in. Wait a minute. Shoot. I'm not going to be able to send the packet this way. I think I gotta do send packet with variable. Send packet player message with variable. Here we go. That way I could pipe in the variable as well. Perfect. I created a method anticipating my hijinks. Love it. And this would be a lesser sigil of awakening. So I'll do this a couple more times if it's tier 2 and tier 3. So if your mage is tier 1, then play this message. If your mage is tier 2, you would need a greater. Greater. If this is going to be a tier 3, this would have to be a superior sigil of awakening. All right, let's give it a try. We are going to save, fireball this in. I'm going to have to reload because I changed the localized key. And at least it should be sending us the correct message. We should see lesser sigil of awakening. 454. Dun dun dun. Almost have to be an adult again. Okay. Let's sit down, /time, set day. Nice and sunny. Hey, the moon too. There we go. You are eligible to increase your magic tier. Hold a lesser sigil of awakening in your offhand to start the process. Excellent. It's going to start the process no matter what I put in. Wait a minute, is it? It's not doing the countdown. Okay. So it should be running this, and it's not. Why would it not be? Oh, is player holding Sigil of Awakened in offhand? So I'm looking for a magic tier item. Let's do a search here. So it's not doing this. So what are we checking here? I am meditating. It did not run the message. Let me make sure I'm getting into here. RMR references dot logger. I'm gonna make it really annoying. Boop. Just a big old bar. Fireball it in. Let me look at my logs over here. I'm getting to the bar. Okay, but I am not eligible, apparently. So let me cut that out. So let's see if I get to here. Maybe... I believe the bars have stopped. Yep, the bars have stopped. So if I move this item into my offhand, it is not happy. What if I move it here? It's not happy with that. Oh, it's because I wasn't meditating. Are you fucking kidding me? It's because you can't have an item in your hand while you're meditating. You know what? We're gonna fix that. I'm gonna make it to where you can hold a sigil in your hand and still be able to meditate. I think that's gonna be too annoying for people if I don't fix this. So let me get rid of that now that I have an idea. This would be meditation. So run meditation logic. Run skill meditation check. So this is probably what I want to look at. Yeah. So if this is a staff or a spell book. I'm going to modify this. I'm going to cut that out, and I'm just going to paste it in here. I don't care if you're holding an inert staff in your hand. I'll still allow you to go into meditation. Any kind of staff in your hand or spell book, you can meditate. Let's keep adding more to this. If you have any kind of sigil, let's do mystical sigil. If you have any of the mystical sigils at all, you can go into meditation. What other items do I have? Wearable. If you have... Well, no, I won't do mage equipment. I won't do mage equipment. Because you would be wearing your mage equipment. Are there any other kind of items? No, those are all my tool items. I don't really see a point with, like, Arcanus. You know, maybe I'll have it to where you could meditate with Arcanus in your hand as well. No, I will not. With Magic Circle, you may be able to cheese it a little bit. Okay, so it's going to be more forgiving now for meditation. Where was I? Where was the other part? Active meditate. Here it is. So let's go back into here. Now it should start doing the item upgrade with anything. If I put that in... It is not. Alright, so what's going on here? It's broke. So run upgrade, you have to be meditating. I have to go through the time lapse. No! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So if you're tier 2, what am I looking for here? Tier 2, send a packet, message with variable. So this is increasing your mana, your magic tier after counting. Am I getting to here? I am not. I am not getting to there. Let's pop this out here. Minimize some of this stuff. All right, so let's find this. Oh, I know why it's not working. This has been all good. Good checks. Awesome jobs. I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log back in. I never picked the Rust Mage class. You cannot go past tier 1 if you are not a Rust Mage. I don't think I picked the Rust Mage class. We'll try. We'll see. I'm going to log back in. You know what? Never mind. I think I did pick the Rust Mage class. I think I did, because I have the Rust Mage equipment on. We'll see. Okay, so I think I am a Rust Mage. Yeah, okay, Vice the Rust Mage. Okay, so I do have Enlightenment. Good, good. Okay, so that's not it. We're not getting to here, so Sigil of the Awakened. Oh, I called it. It's something different. Mystical Sigil. Magic tier in your left hand. Did I do? Is it still called Magic tier? It is. It's still called Magic tier. Mystical Sigil dash Magic tier. So that should be correct. Scroll back up. So I'm meditating. Is eligible for magic tier level. It's probably in here. So what am I looking for? I need to have the... For tier 1 mage, you need to be wearing the tier 1 bracelet, and you need your mana to be 45. And if those two things are true, then it marks it as true. You also edited some things to admin the gear on, right? I did, but this is soulbound to me. So I have the bracelet on. And my mana pool is 45, which is the minimum. Because I did do greater than or equals to, right? Let's search by this. Because it ran the message saying I'm eligible. Like if I stand up, right, and I sit back down, and then we go into meditation, it should run the message saying that I'm eligible. Because I have the wristband on, and my mana pool is where it is. There it is. You are eligible to increase your magic tier. Hold a lesser Sigil of Awakening in your offhand to start the process. What I should probably do is run a couple of things here. So it's running this fine. Let's go into here. Let's do RMR references dot logger. This, I'm going to make it a little annoying. We'll do a 1 equals plus. Let's make sure that that it sees that you are holding a correct item. This should be true. We're going to have a 2. A 2 is going to see if you're eligible for leveling up. And how you doing, RC? 3 is going to make sure that you are indeed meditating. Your player maximum mana, so let me get my magic tier. And I will make sure that this is true. We got a false in there. One is false. One, oh, duh. One is going to be false because I don't have the item in my hand. Snooze. But when it goes off one more time, I'm going to have to raid someone. And then we got 45 as the number. That should be 3. That should be 4. Yeah, so we have false, true, true. So if I put this item in here, it's still false. It's still false. Mystical Sigil dash Magic tier dash tier 2. Interesting. So it's not seeing the item in my offhand. So that's what we got to look at. So that works out, that works, that works. It's this method that we are having a problem with. So let's take a look at it. So what am I doing? I'm casting entity to an entity player. And if that's the case, I'm looking to see if there is something in the player's right hand. And if there is something, we are looking at the left hand, which is that offhand. Item stack collectible code path equals, whoa, that's not right, contains. Contains, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. And what I should do is we're going to make this method a little more accessible. I will put in a keyword of tier in. Up here, I'm going to take in a string, and I will say tier in. That I'm going to have to modify a couple of things here. So this I can minimize. Edit. There's going to be, okay, a couple of things here. So, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do what I just did. Well, I kind of am. I'm going to get rid of what I just did. I'm going to keep this as a safety check. There's no harm in that. So I could see it contains, you know, Mystical Sigil Magic tier. So that could be the first check, which will make everything happy again. And then this one, holding Sigil of the Awakening is what it is. Let's get rid of the Sigil of Awakening in offhand by tier. So I can have this as a secondary check to look for the specific item to upgrade. So in here, I'm gonna have to put an if statement, so I could say if I will do this. Is player holding Sigil of item by tier? Let's do tier 1. I also want to say if this dot magic tier is equal to 1 and there we go. That's what I'm going to want to do. So if you're a tier 1 mage and you're sitting down, right? All of this is true. And you happen to be a tier 1 mage and you're holding the item that's needed for the tier 1 item upgrade, then I can say, I can give you the message like, hey, you're going to start. If you are a tier 2 mage and you have the tier 2 item, then it's going to say start. If you are a tier 3 mage and you're tier 3, it's going to send you the correct message. I'm going to have to copy this. Now we are going to have to hop into here. I'm going to minimize this. Oh, I'm kind of already doing it here. I'm going to minimize some of these methods. I copied way too much. Nah, I'm kind of far down. You know what? I'm just gonna... No! I don't want to go! But I have to. Snooze. I'll do it right to the end. You know, I was sitting there, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna be good today. Oh, you know what? I gotta not put it there. Alright, I'm gonna cut all of this out. We're gonna paste it into here. So if you are a tier 1 mage and you have this item, we will do things 2, 3. In all of them, we are going to increase the magic tier. You can go, we have the chair and some tunes. Thanks, I feel so loved. I'm gonna copy this. So we're gonna paste that in. I'm gonna send a bunch of messages. This should work. Now, if I wanted to, I could create condense all of this into a method and then just call that single method. It would help. It would help make things not look so invasive, but we're not going to do that. But we're not going to do that. I'm going to comment out all of that. There we go. Now I'm going to have to add a packet. Well, I'm not going to be able to do it right now because we got to find someone to raid, but now all I have to do is just add a packet to consume the item. And we should be good. That's the last thing I have to work on. I guess I'll make the lesser or the apprentice robes for people. That way they could feel like they're a mage without being a mage. I think other than that, that's it's gonna be it. That will be all she wrote. So tonight, if I get time, I'll probably live stream again. Might as well. And then tomorrow I'll start taking screenshots. I'll post on the Discord. Unless I find a big bug or something, then I'll have to delay it. But ideally, I'm pretty much ready to have the alpha release of the Magic mod. Let's go to twitch.tv. Who's playing Vintage Story? Who do we got? We got someone, Vintage Story with mods and friends. You know what? This is a new person. They speak English, right? Yep, they speak English. Honey Play is who we're gonna raid. Just because finally someone put in mods, right? Doing mod stuff. So /raid Honey Play. There we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We're so close. I'm excited to get this out and let people try it. Let people cast some spells, have fun with it. Oh, that's Honey. I don't know who Honey is, but I will learn. Maybe Honey and I could be friends, just like I've made friends with everyone else here. Okay, laters. Yeah, so I'll be live streaming a little later again, right? It's gonna be around 7:30 Eastern time. Oh man, what am I gonna make for dinner? I don't know. But yeah, it should be fun. Should be good. We'll get it ironed out, and the mod will be there. So I'm gonna have to an ad. All right, we're just gonna raid. Bye, everyone.